Hello everyone, I'm Alvarez and this is Alvarez Metalworks. So here we are with a 2000 Jeep Cherokee, the JK model, or excuse me, XJ model. This is a buddy of mine. He's a member and one of the original members of Upstate4x4.com. If you're from the New York area, not necessarily New York City, New York State area, or in the surrounding areas, check that out. He's one of our admins. You saw the roof rack that I built for Project Pathfinder. Basically, this is what it looks like right here. I'm gonna show you guys real quick. So that's what it looks like. He liked it, liked the design, wanted to change up a couple of things, but wanted me to build one for his truck. The big thing is that the mounts, he's got gutters, so we're going to be using some prefabricated gutter mounts that were purchased from another company. I'm going to be modifying those. That should speed up the build process significantly. And the overall length of his roof rack is going to be 75 inches. And the overall width will be 50 inches, not including the feet. So, we also are going to compensate for the sunroof. You see how it sticks out? The roof rack is essentially going to sit ballpark. The bottom of it should be about the height of this bar, okay? Maybe a little lower. I'm going to try to get as close as possible, but you see how the sunroof pops up above that? That's an issue, okay? We don't want to break that. So I'm going to create a hoop cutout of the roof rack here in the front. I'll show you real quick in a drawing to compensate for the sunroof when it opens up, and later on down the road we'll build something to cover that if he decides to carry something like that's full length so it doesn't drop through and break the sunroof. Anyway, he's going to have the light bar on the front. The other big difference is here in the back. Mine's squared up, straight up and down. He wants his to match this line right here in the body, so it'll kind of lean in a little bit. And that's pretty much it. That's about the all differences. So let's go inside the shop and I'll show you what I've got going on. This is a rough idea of what I'm building. You got your back section that's leaned in. You got your side panels with the dimple dies. And you got your light bar. He's got a double row light bar. Mine only has a single row. So we're going to be doing some modifications up front for clearance. And here's his mounts, his gutter mounts. Okay, the gutter mounts are right here. I'll talk about who builds these later. Okay, I'm going to modify these. Right now it looks like what I'm going to do, got this in my vise. I'm going to run a flat cutoff wheel across here, and I'm going to bend that down. Okay, this sits in the gutter at about that angle. I'm going to bend that down so it sits flat. The roof rack will sit on top of that. Okay, I'm going to do some more modifications to it to clean up the connecting point, but essentially that's what's going on. So right now what I need to do is I need to join this section here. It was short. You know, this is a 20-foot length of tubing, and I was about an inch short, or roughly that. I may cut this much off of it, just so I'm not dealing with a real tight piece here. The longer piece will be more forgiving. But I've also, because I screwed up on this distance between here and here, that ½ inch, I need to cut here in the center and remove a ½ inch of material. So I'm going to work on that. I'm going to be using, not my MIG welder. I may use the MIG just to do some tacking, to tack it all together, okay? I'm kind of in a hurry, so the customer's going to be picking up his vehicle on Sunday night, and I need to really get this bottom section done on this. So I may tack it up with my Everlast Power iMig 200, but ultimately all the welding really is going to be done with my Everlast Power TIG 210 EXT, okay? So, the other thing I want to talk about is that I'm going to be using nothing but products that I've got from Rourke Supply, as far as flap discs, cutoff wheels, safety glasses, you name it. during this project, okay? We'll talk about that later in the video. Anyway, let's get to it. Okay, so here's our progress. I've got the hoop in. I got one of the cross braces here at the front of the roof rack. One of the cross braces at the back of the roof rack. I got another one ready, and I just cut another one there. Okay. I believe I need actually one more of those. Matter of fact, now that I think about it. So I'll be cutting another one of those. Anyway, let me get to the point of this. I had made a mistake. I had told you guys I made a mistake in my measurements initially between this bend and that bend. I ended up screwing up the second bend as well. Okay, this one, because I had compensated for it, I ended up going way more than I should have. So I ended up having to cut sections out of there as well as there. If I wouldn't have made those mistakes, I wouldn't have this gap right here between the two ends of the tubing. It would have been plenty enough for me to do, 120-foot length of tubing would have been plenty enough for me to make this whole bottom loop. But I screwed up. I made sure when I took my sections out, I took them out of the center. You shouldn't be able to see those seams anyways when it's all said and done, but I like to keep things uniform just in case you do see them. Then this way at least it looks centered and it's not just off to the side someplace weird. Anyway, got the hoop in. One thing I wanted to talk to you guys about, and this is the reason why I started this segment right here, is we've got these. These are strip discs that I got from Rourke Supply. I'm using them on the roll-lock type attachment on this air grinder. I had bought, what is it? 3 lengths of 1 inch, 3 20-foot lengths of 1 inch tubing. Okay, I had 2 remaining 20-foot lengths. Okay, you see here, this is pretty rusty. This is one of the old ones, and this is after I've hit it with just sandpaper by hand. Okay, let me come over here and show you how bad this stuff is. I mean, it's not super bad, but I mean, it's kind of ugly. There we go. That's what happens when your steel sits around and you don't oil it up. This is not a horrible thing, a little bit of sandpaper, and we'll fix the problem. And that's where this strip disc comes into play, and the reason why I'm using this segment. I started with a piece of tubing just like this after I hit it with the hand, with the sandpaper here by hand, and then I use this roll-lock disc on here and got it to shine up just like that. The reason why I'm showing you guys this is because this is 16 gauge tubing. This is pretty thin stuff. Okay. If you start hitting this with a grinder or a flap disc, you're going to quickly remove metal. These strip discs don't remove metal. Okay. This is something that you really want to look into if you have some ugly tubing, a little bit of surface rust developing on there, and you want to clean this stuff off. Okay. So check out RourkeSupply.com. If you guys use a coupon code METAL, you'll get a 10% discount. So check them out. I'm not just plugging them because I've got a deal with them, a partnership with them, but this is legitimately a good product to do this stuff with. Okay, and they're real cheap, so go check it out. Anyway, let me get back to work. I'll be right back. Okay, everyone. I've got the base of this thing completely framed out. Everything's tacked together. Nothing's finish welded. I'm not going to do that until for a little bit here. I've got to make sure the expanded steel fits on there. I've got to cut the expanded steel out. I've also got a plan for how the feet are going to be mounted on there, as well as where my vertical supports are going to be. So once I get all that stuff situated, then I'll finish weld the bottom section, at least the parts that I won't be able to do later, which are any of these top sections. because the expanded steel will be in the way. So anyway, I wanted to just give you guys some advice. Measure, measure, measure. If you're stressing out, take your sweet time. You know, regardless of how much you're stressing out about it, measure, triple check, double check. The mistakes that I made on this cost me literally hours, okay? If I wouldn't have made those mistakes, I would have been totally done with this. I would have had it finish welded, and I would have had the expanded steel on here already. However, you know, mistakes are going to happen, but take your time, measure, make sure everything's squared up, make sure everything's coped properly, make sure your bends are where they need to be. All of that. Take your time with it, you know. You're going to enjoy your build more if you take your time with it. The quality is going to be a lot higher, and you're not going to have to redo things. So anyway, I'm pretty tired. My buddy's on his way over to pick up his Cherokee and take a look at what I've got so far. I wanted to give Rourke Supply another plug. Check them out. They've got some cheap safety goggles that I've been using in my shop quite a bit. I've been using them at work as well. Some zip ties that I've been using as well for a lot of electrical work at work, as well as on a 50 Chevy that I completely rewired. There's no video for that, but I will be doing a review on those zip ties and letting you guys know what brand they are and everything. But flap discs, cut off wheels, the strip discs that you saw that I removed all the rust off the tubing, all of that stuff. There's lots of things on there. So check out Rourke Supply. They're helping me out. They're giving you guys a coupon code for 10%. Type in metal during your checkout. It lets them know that you saw them through me. Plus, it's giving you guys some savings on top of their already great prices. So, anyway, thank you guys for watching. Like always, subscribe, comment, like. And this is part one of a two-part series. The second part will be done and uploaded as soon as I'm done with this roof rack. Okay, I'm not going to drag this out for like 10 or 15 videos like some of my other stuff is. Part one, part two. Okay, so thanks for watching. Talk to you guys later.